Yo, 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 headbutts and slow blinks, good people. It's your boy Sterling, Trap King Davis, and my sister from another mister.
I'm Shannon Jackson, and this is the
The same
same
team
team
pod. One day.
podcat. Just kidding.
Podcat? That's dope.
That could
Move
be
the
new.
S around. Podcats.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So what's good? What's good, good people? Hope that y'all have had an amazing weekend. Um, I don't know if y'all remember, if y'all follow us on social media, the same team pod. Earlier in the week, we shared a letter from a young cat advocate, a friend of both of ours, and we thought it was really touching and wanted to share with y'all and get some of y'all opinion. And we're actually going to have this young individual on today as a guest. But before we get into that, we wanted to read the letter that we shared on our social medias early this week, because like I said, it was amazingly touching for me, especially also being a man in animal rescue, animal welfare, being a boy. So it's it was an amazing thing. I want to go ahead and read it for you all, me and Shannon. Let me
Yeah,
see
and
if I could.
especially as adults, to read the words of a young person that is the next generation, and it was pretty eye-opening. So we're gonna read this letter to you guys, and then we're gonna welcome this young individual onto the podcast.
I got it up here. So let me. So this is, and like I said, this is real touching. This coming from a younger person, it'll really make you mirror yourself and see what it is that you do and what you're doing, where you can get better at. So check this out. It says, "I am a male in a female-dominated field, but that doesn't mean I can't make a difference. I am a teen who is learning. I am not perfect, just human. I am young but teachable. I am the next generation. As one small voice for the next generation, I want to share a few things for the other youth advocates. You don't need to build an empire to make a difference. The smallest acts can make the biggest difference. Never let anyone tell you that you can't."
For the adult advocates, with no disrespect meant, realize many young people look up to you, strive to be like you, idolize you in some cases. Don't claim love, kindness, and compassion if you can't practice it. Aren't we all here in hopes of accomplishing the same goal? Why is there a need to put down, put out, shame, or be generally unsupportive and unkind to other rescuers? Don't you want the next generation to get involved, to carry on what you have started? Realize we get enough drama, gossip, and bad talk at school, but to hear adults be that way to each other and about other rescuers, let me tell you, it's the wrong lesson to teach.
I can, we can, as the next generation, make a difference. Don't doubt us, discount us, or talk negatively about us. We are impressionable but teachable. Teach us, but be mindful of the lessons you teach. There is always something to learn every day by everyone. No one person can know it all.
If you're going to preach it, then practice it. Love, support, kindness, and compassion. If you've gotten this far, thanks for hearing me. So now, without further ado, we would like to bring on Lil Chris and his mom, Erin, Mama Erin, and their account online is Catastical Meows. We've mentioned them before, but hi, Chris. Will you unmute your microphone? There you go.
Hey, what's up? It's little Chris Doe.
He was telling us that he had to come in with the dope intro, so it was only right. Little
Yeah,
Chris, man, I gotta first say, let that marinate a little bit. You said a mouthful, man. Like, did it take you a long time to put that out, to write that? Was it hard?
I kind of started writing, and before I knew it, it was just that much and that long. So it kind of seemed like, I think it was like 30 minutes to write that.
I mean, I think that's dope, because for one, just people, period, not even just being young. I mean, even my age, even me at times, it's hard to express yourself, to get points out. And we got to read some of the comments later to you, that because so many people reached out and was like, yo, dude is wise beyond his years. Like, I love this guy. So it was it's I congratulate you on that, because it's really difficult for many people to express themselves like that. You kind of nailed it.
Thank you. I know.
Yeah.
It
And
was
how old are you, Chris?
I'm 13, about to be 14
13.
in like 4 months, but that's
Mm.
about to be
13.
13.
And how long?
Some of y'all might not know, but I've been knowing Chris for a while. Since you, like, how old were you when we first met? I think it was at CatCon.
I think it was 10 or 11, probably 10. 10.
Man,
I've been in this
he
industry for 3 years.
doing your thing.
Yeah. You got like 20 litters that you fostered, maybe more.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, Chris also recently wrote a children's book called Mouse the Cat, and it's from trash to treasure. Oh yes, this is my personalized copy to me and Smush with paw prints and all. But
I love
but
the
yeah,
paw print.
yeah, it's awesome. But I mean, because you're not, I mean, I relate to you too, because you're also creative. You know, you're out there, you're fostering kittens, and you know, you're doing so much. But then, I mean, look at this. I mean, I gotta
That
show
is-
for those of you watching, look at this. I love this. This is so
I
great.
love it.
And
Look at the
Mouse,
kitty.
I know, and Mouse is was a foster fail, and now Mouse lives
Yeah.
with you. Mouse is everything.
How many
That's
foster
mouses you don't
fails?
know.
Oh,
Those are
yeah,
The
that's
real
the-
Mouse.
Yeah,
That's a real mouse. That's when he first got him. That's what he looks like now.
Yeah. Yeah. So
How
for those
many-
of you who are listening on, you know, just on the podcast, we're showing Chris's book. So you can tune in on YouTube and see the video.
Yeah, definitely. But I wanted to ask Chris, how many foster fails have you and mom had? Have y'all had a lot of foster fails? That's been my issue with fostering, is because, especially bottle baby fosters, because I literally will, after mixing the KMR and getting up every 2 hours, I'm like, these babies
Yeah.
are mine. I can't do it. So have y'all had a lot of foster fails?
We've only had one, which was Mouse, obviously, because we had him for like a year and he was finally be ready to be adopted, but we already knew we wanted him. We almost had one. This girl right over there.
Oh.
She wanted to keep one, but it was back when we fostered through Pasadena Humane Society. So we didn't get to like choose where they go. So we just like dropped them off at Pasadena. I think it was that night. She called and said, "Hey, can I get that cat back?" And they said he was out on the floor for like an hour and he already got picked up and adopted.
Wow.
So we would have had another foster fail, but we didn't.
Wow.
But
Well,
I want to
see,
foster
that's-
fail all of them. I want to keep that one right there. Both of them.
Yeah. Oh, I love that little one. That's like when I had my foster kittens, the bread babies. That was the first time I'd fostered a litter from like the tiniest babies. And the first time I brought them to PetSmart, I cried like a baby. I couldn't even talk to the volunteer coordinator. I was like, and I left. And then, you know, it's hard, but it's so important. And how did you get
So
involved
rewarding.
with fostering, Chris?
So we went to this cat conference in Pasadena Humane, and I don't know why we went. I don't know why the original purpose was when we went, but they said after like a long seminar about how to foster, they said raise your hands if you're ready to foster, and my hand shot up, and she said no, but we eventually did it. So
A week later, we brought home our first mama and babies.
the soda litter.
And
Son of
that's
a-
how it starts. Once you get in, it's no getting out. That's it.
Once you go cat, you never go back.
Right. I like it. I like it.
So
That's
good.
when we first met. When I first saw you at CatCon, I think I was with Adam, Catman of West Oakland, and
Yeah.
Catman Chris was out there. Shout out to both of them out there doing their thing. But when we saw you, I remember in the picture we all had to bend down because you was so much smaller. And now I promise
Yeah.
the last time I was in LA, we about the same height. If you on the
Yeah,
Patreon
they-
page, I actually shared that picture on the Patreon page because we might have to start calling you Big Chris soon.
He's like, no, that doesn't go with
Yeah,
he's like,
the
that's
whole
not
like
cool.
persona. Yeah.
Little
You-
Chris.
Yeah.
Forever and
With
always.
LIL. I wrote it down just like that. It's like
He's
not
like,
Lil.
Lil,
It's like
Lil.
Chris.
Lil Wayne, Lil
Little
John,
Bow
like,
Wow.
Lil Bow Wow, little, yeah. So Chris, when you wrote that letter, it seems to me like it came from deep within your soul when you wrote that. Is this stuff that you've been thinking about for a while since you started volunteering?
I only started thinking about it about 2 or 1 year ago, because I started to realize how much people were beefing with each other. Like they would be like totally two-faced, like, oh, hey, how are you? But then the next time they'd be like, oh, that dude's so annoying, that dude sucks and stuff. So I started writing and it just came out, all of it.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's a lot of what we talk about on the podcast. It's so and again, Chris, I appreciate you and Mama Erin for being on, because that's so important that we put that for a young rescue advocate to see us as adults behave like that. It's tough. It's tough. Did you, Chris, when you see stuff like that, did it discourage you at all? Did you ever come to a point to be like, okay, you know what? I don't even know if I want to be a part of this, because are they gonna talk? Do they talk about me like that when I'm not around it? You might feel like people gonna talk about you. Did it ever discourage you at all?
Not one bit, because I don't really care what people think about me. As long as my cats are cool with me, that's all I care about. But
Long as my kittens love me. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You're a tough dude, man. But it's a lot of people I know that probably would just run out, and be done and just out of here. I've had parts where I was like, I don't know if I could do this anymore. But I love the cats. I love the cats.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also purely. Yeah. And as an adult too, I mean, and I know the reason why Sterling and I even started this podcast is because of that kind of stuff, but the fact that young people, I mean, I feel like you're wise beyond your years. I mean, you don't seem 13. I mean, you seem like an old soul to me, but I hope that you can keep that you're not giving up mindset as you go older, because that's the thing. It's unfortunate, but as you get older, sometimes people do get nastier. They do. Like, I think because of life. And that's why we're always talking about therapy, and you got to deal with yourself first, because, like somebody could be walking around and being like, oh, that dude, I hate him. And then turn around and be like, hello, and that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good. And it's hard.
Let me ask you this, Chris, because this is something I've always been the different guy or the weird guy in my crew. Even when I was in school, I was always the weird guy, dressing different and stuff. Oh. When you first got into the cats and the rescue world, did your peers, did everybody at school, how did they act towards you? Did they like cats too, or were they like, cats are stupid?
That's where I finally came to you, because I got that you don't lose cool points for compassion, because some people were giving me a hard time about liking cats and fostering them and stuff. But I've always had a cat nearby, so I kind of grew up with cats, so I'm not ashamed of any cat.
I remember when y'all was reaching out to me, man, and I was like, I love your spirit, man. I love your attitude and your approach, your outlook on it.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're like, you own that. It's good. Yeah.
If y'all can see little Chris right now, for the people that's just listening, he like, I got this.
Yeah.
But that's good though. It's crazy how many people I hope young and old can see and listen to this and learn from you, because that's one of the things that I always say is to be proud of what you do, be confident in it, and don't be afraid to pat yourself on the back a little bit, because if not, that's where burnout, compassion fatigue and things come in, and it's just sad. So I love that outlook on there. Where you get that? Did you get that from mom? Did you get that toughness from mom? Where you get that from?
She's not very tough. I got it from dad. He's really tough.
You got it from your dad. And maybe it just is, it's inside of you. It's your very own essence. It's the essence of Lil Chris. He's like, yo.
Right.
I'm waiting for that rap.
he is. One of these days I'm gonna have to get Lil Chris on the song.
Oh my God. You guys need to. Yeah.
Some cat raps. We need it.
You got to get Nathan in on that too, because that guy's crazy.
Oh yeah. Nathan is hilarious. We actually did an event, and again, I love Erin, I love you for coming out too. You and little Chris came out. We had an event at the Cat Cafe out in LA.
Yeah.
Donated a bunch of removal food. Y'all should. Chris was up there with me and Nathan, the cat lady, handing out food, doing his thing. Like that was it was real dope to see that. I think like I think for the next generation, man, you're gonna be a leader for this thing.
I'm like the president of cats.
Hey,
Leader of cats, yeah.
You can never, well, I don't know. Cats might tell you otherwise because cats.
Yeah, because they're cats. They're cats.
But yeah, you definitely have that spirit of, you're a can-do person, and obviously you're going to do whatever it is that you feel is right for the animals. And so, but then does it feel frustrating to you when you hear people talking smack about each other and then, being nice to do you find that that's frustrating for you when you hear that?
Yeah, because it's just super unmature. I don't know how to, I don't understand. Immature, unmature.
Yeah.
And it's super immature because that's like high school, middle school drama. Oh, I hate that dude. I hate that dude so much. Oh, hi. Just like
Yeah.
that. For adults to be doing that around like those type of people, like little kids, is kind of weird. I don't like it. So yeah, it's kind of frustrating.
So I just wanted to make a point too, that with everything coming back from the pandemic, everything's more in person. So that's where I think that a lot of this stems from, is that you can be out there and you can be talking with, your friend or something, but there's a lot of people who bring their young kids and hope that maybe they might get involved with stuff like this. And if those kids are sitting there hearing, us as adults saying that rescue is terrible, that shelter is awful, this, it makes them go like, well, if these people are so terrible and awful, why do I even want to get involved in that? Mm-hmm. And that's what he and I talked about too. And that's where the whole basis, after he wrote the letter, that the whole basis of the discussion is that everything's going from being online to coming back in person. And that's where, a lot of this, negativity is spread. It's not just between two people on the phone or, things like that. It's out there now. So
do you think that people do you think that people are one way online and then like a different way in person? Like, do you find that?
I don't know. I think it's kind of the same, but also different. I don't know how to explain it. The same and different at the same time.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I was discussing. Can't remember who I was talking to yesterday about that, but I was saying that as far as attracting other people in rescue, it's so hard if we look as if we're fighting one another within it. So it's always, you may not agree with somebody's process, but that doesn't make them wrong. That doesn't mean that they're trying to do wrong. And that's something that I think is a big deal. Like what you was just saying, Erin, is we have, if you spreading that bad stuff out there, it hinders the mission. And it doesn't just hinder the mission of that particular rescue or rescuer, it's hindering the mission of all of our work. It makes it more difficult because the people on the outside looking in are ultimately like, man, I don't want to go over and get in that fight.
Yeah, because it does. I totally hear what you're saying, Sterling, because it's like if I happen to be, say, at PetSmart, even if I was just there, say I was shopping, I was going to buy a Smush present, and PetSmart has a lot of different rescues sometimes on the weekends. At least they used to before the pandemic. I think now things are going back. And if I was walking by and heard somebody saying really nasty things, and they're like putting a cute little kitten in the cage, and what if I had decided, oh, I might want to volunteer with them, I would be like, I don't want to be with those people. But I think that is why I think a lot of times people aren't really thinking about that, how it hurts the animals and potentially hurts other people that might want to volunteer, because people aren't checking themselves, because unfortunately people can be really like people just are that way, and sometimes, Chris, and it's unfortunate, but you are already wise beyond your years, and I hope that you keep that. And because you definitely have the same team mindset as far as, okay, let's work together, but also be a decent human being, and you're an authentic guy, little Chris with his guns,
Little Chris.
but but yeah, I do think when you wrote that, I was hoping that, especially as a young person, like, what if another young person is like, yeah, I might want to foster, or I might want to, go walk some dogs, or, do something with a rescue. And if they hear people talking like that, I wouldn't want to be involved with those people.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you seen more young people now that they've, saw you doing your thing? Do you see any of them trying to jump on board and help, or do you see them getting a little interested like you are?
I don't really see many of the people my age unless they're on like occasionally on Instagram stories. But I don't really see that many people nowadays. I used to see them when I first started when I was like 10. I used to see a lot of people like a lot of people.
Man. You a trailblazer. I don't see a whole lot, especially like you, especially coming out. Because like I said, since CatCon years ago, I would see you come out, come hang out at the merch table with me and Catman in West Oakland, and we all be chilling. So it's like you've been in there doing your thing. So again, man, I appreciate it. I want to read one of these comments that somebody wrote on Instagram when they read your letter. So check this out. I won't say who it is. I don't know if they would want, I haven't asked them, but I'm gonna just read it out. But it says, what an amazing young man. What a message. What struck me was, you don't have to build an empire. It takes a village. Is a great sentiment, but sometimes no matter how hard we try and how many times we try, it just doesn't work out. The last thing you need is laying a guilt trip on yourself where you're doing your absolute best you can. The last thing you need is to be judged. Some of us are doing the best we can. Thank you for sharing his powerful message. Like,
ooh,
yeah, man. That's the type of stuff you that's the type of stuff you doing.
This is another comment from Smush's Instagram, because Sterling posted it from his and I posted it from Smush's, and then we also posted it from our podcast Instagram. Yeah. But this person, I don't know if your mom shared this with you, Chris, but she said, I teach at-risk young adult students. May I have permission to print the letter for our quote wall? I know they love to read it. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. And so that's the thing. And here's another one. This kid is brilliant, kind, and courageous. Thank you for sharing his letter. I'm 49 now, but I could have written the same letter as a teenager. Sad to read young people today making the same issues with tired adult behavior. So, if you're an adult out there listening to this podcast, not everybody is as wise as little Chris here, and so please just pay attention to what you need to practice, what you preach, and I that goes for all of us, Sterling and myself too. I mean, we're not perfect. We're all human beings, and people get frustrated, and people are frustrating. Like there are people that I do not like to work with, and I don't have to work with them, but I don't have to smack talk them,
Right. That's a big deal. That's what I was saying. Everybody may not have the same process or do it the same way, but it still help. It's still people. We all still on the same team and trying to help. It's still for the greater cause, which is the animals, all the fur babies that we want to help. Yeah. And speaking of that, I gotta ask you this too, Chris. What was the hardest foster so far, thus far? What was the hardest or craziest foster situation you didn't had?
Yeah, like she said, definitely Mouse, because he was like really underweight when he first got him. And when he was 8 weeks, he looked like he was 4 or like 3. He didn't turn 2 pounds until, how long was it?
He hit 1 pound at 9 weeks.
9 weeks. That's when they usually hit like 2 pounds or above. And so he had a pound party. But then he got FIP. So yeah, FIP. And then we had to give him like these annual shots every single night. I had to be there because I was a churu dude. I was in the corner waiting for After to give him a churu. But it was probably the hardest one because of how much commitment it took. I think it was a year until we finally things with Mouse kind of calmed down. But I don't regret doing any of it because he's the best cat ever.
And so wait, was Mouse? So Mouse was a bottle baby?
No,
He came at 4 weeks.
but
4
he
weeks,
didn't
okay,
drink
okay.
milk.
No, he wouldn't. He refused to take the bottle, but he wouldn't
Wow.
eat. He wouldn't eat either. So between the two of us, we had a syringe feed him like a slurry.
Oh,
That's like
yeah,
Smush.
you had a
That was
pack
like
in
Smush
syringe.
too.
He
That's why
hated
he
it.
probably like, you know how you saw Smush like bite my finger before? It was
Yeah.
the same thing. She would not eat. She's a Mouse is also like, he knows he's the king, you know. Smush as a kitten, she's like, no, you must feed me the slurry and the syringe, you know.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, he was.
Uh,
Mouse was that way. He wouldn't eat
Yeah.
unless you sat there with the spoon and fed him. It was
Wow.
so between the two of us in all the feedings, because we had to feed him, just like a bottle baby to get weight on him. And so we, take turns just like we do with the bottle babies. And finally he ate, but he wouldn't drink water. The only thing that he would drink he would lick ice.
Oh, yeah. Because she eats ice and she'll like leave it in here and I'll start licking it.
That's the only thing that he would ever get any water. He wouldn't drink water. He had to lick the ice.
Wait,
That
who eats ice? Who
Me
eats
and her.
I do.
We had an ice maker in there where we just go over and take a cup of.
Just so you know, I don't know if anyone else listening too, chewing ice is a sign of being anemic. So you guys might need some iron. Just passing on the info because I had to take iron pills last year and I was chewing ice too. And I'm like, God, this is so good. So yeah.
I think the way little Chris is looking at Erin, maybe that subject may have come up before.
Maybe. So Chris, let me ask you this. When you become an adult, like, do you want to work in animal welfare, like professionally?
Oh yeah. I'm thinking about just doing whatever Chris the cat guy was doing, the kitten nursery head, or just like, or get like a vet, be a vet tech or something like that. Just something in the cat world to help out cats and dogs or just animals in general.
That's awesome.
You got to talk a little bit more.
Yeah.
You got to talk a little bit more about Chris Ramon too, because he's not I met him before and we hung out, we did some stuff together, but he hasn't been on social media as much, but he is constantly going, hard working dude. Got to talk about how did you first meet Chris Ramon?
It was at that first cat seminar. He was just there. And I remember the first picture we ever took of him, I was wearing a Save Kittens beanie and ballless and flawless shirt. No, that was Chris Ramon. And I was like this tall and he was like this tall. And it looks super funny. But I just like took a picture of him because his name's Chris and my name's Chris. And that was the first time I ever met him. And when was the next time I saw him?
At the next whenever we saw him at the next, probably at CatCon, I think. Or no, we fostered through Pasadena.
Yeah, we fostered, so we would see him every time we would like bring him back for like a veterinary something or another checkup or something. Or just drop him off in general. I would see him so much because he was basically the kitten coordinator. Wasn't that his name?
He was a kitten nursery.
Kitten nursery coordinator.
That's dope. Yeah, Chris, he's a good guy. I when I first met him, I could tell right away. I was like, oh yeah, this is another cat guy. He is all about it. Oh, we got an appearance from Smush here.
Yeah, Smush appearance.
What is
For those of y'all just listening, Smush has made an appearance. Oh, she in the mic.
What is it? What is it?
Smush is the real executive producer of the show, y'all. So she got to come through and check and make sure everything is working good.
I don't know if you guys saw her earlier. It was like a blip. She like went across my computer screen.
Oh
like,
yeah.
And it was so, Erin, I saw you. We made eye contact through Zoom, but I was like, she came from nowhere because I'm sitting at my kitchen table and I have a cat. This is where Smush likes to sleep, is in there.
There's so many of those.
Oh my God. Those are the best. They actually are really good if you ever want to ship something to somebody. Like I've put stuff in there before, but yeah, cats are just the best. I mean, and it's so cool because I mean, I love all animals, but I love that when you get involved with rescue, I always felt when I first started volunteering that I was excited to meet people like myself. So I think a lot of times but then when you get involved, you realize that not everybody, you might have you're on the same team for animals, but that's where the challenges start,
Yeah.
with others. So, I do think though that as you get into it, to not give up, but to also find people that you actually vibe with, that can encourage you rather than be like a negative, because I know I've been around people and it's like all they ever do is talk smack about others. Yeah. And I'm like, do you know how exhausting this is to me? As I'm just kind of it's frustrating and it does turn people off. So I hope people, will read your words and think about that, because I mean, we can all be better. I mean, we can all be better people. We're not as evolved and wonderful as cats. We, humans are not as good as cats.
Yeah, cats are flawless.
Speaking of that, though, little Chris, you ever think about, or have you ever worked with, or do you ever think about working with other animals outside of just cats?
What do you mean by that? Like dogs?
Yeah, like if you like rescue dogs. I mean, I think Shannon, didn't you have a hedgehog before or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want one of those.
No, you don't. No. Well, there's a lot that goes on with a hedgehog. There's a lot, but my hedgehog was a rescue hedgehog, so he wasn't socialized as a hoglet. They're called hoglets.
Oh, that is the cutest name in the world. I did not know.
Yeah, yeah. But Homer, he's actually in my kids' books, but then he passed away like right after Smush for President was published, and I was like, well, he'll just live on in the books. But yeah, hedgehogs are, I don't know. Like my ex-wife and I, we had 4 dogs, 3 cats, 1 TNR cat, and then the hedgehog. So and they're all rescues, of course.
So I wanted to foster a pig. I've seen those, and I not really dogs, but mostly just pigs and birds. Because one of my friends has, what did Lucas have? What was the Petunia?
Oh, those 2 that go together, those lovebirds.
Lovebirds. Those things were awesome. They were loud though.
I think Kitten Lady and Andrew, shout out to them too. I think they made everybody want a pig.
Oh yeah. What was the first pig that they had? What was that pig's
Joshua.
name?
Yeah,
Joshua. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then there was the one that used to cuddle with the kitten. Remember, there was a pig that would cuddle with the kitten. So funny. They grow so fast.
Now she has like a black one with like a pink nose, right?
Well, that it's fostered through Orphan Kitten Club, but Egu has it at Foster XYZ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have
made me want a pig. Everything I like, it's the more I get into it, the more I can see myself possibly get into more animal. I'm always gonna be a cat guy. It's nothing.
Surely you'll have a pig in the RV with you.
I know, right? My cats will lose their mind.
Awesome.
But remember, there's no such thing as a potbelly or a teacup pig. I mean, they grow really big and really fast. So
I know. Yeah.
Crazy story. When I was when I lived in Missouri for a little while, they have festivals for everything. They have a corn festival. They have a beer festival. And at one of these festivals, there was like a farmer. You know how like when you go to these carnivals,
do you guess how much it weighs?
No, you throw the ping pong ball into the water and you bring home a goldfish.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Brought him a pig.
Okay, well, this guy had one where you did something, and if you did that, you got to take home a piglet.
Oh.
And so I thought to myself, if you have a farm and you are a sanctuary, that's great. But for a lot of these people who would win this little piglet, after about a week, just what are you going to do with that?
That's a big deal. I'm surprised they would be willing to just let a piglet be a prize. That's not a prize that everybody, like you said, everybody don't have the means to take care of that baby. Wow.
Well, that doesn't sound like an animal welfare person. Like, I don't think that they probably were thinking of the best interest of the piglet.
Yeah.
Y'all got to see this little kitty that little Chris is holding right now. I swear this baby. Y'all probably, if y'all follow them on Instagram, y'all have seen this little baby before.
We're full.
Oh my goodness. Look
Wait,
at that face.
show the little nubbin. So this little, what is
Oh,
this? What is this one's name?
Werfel.
Waffle.
Werfel.
Waffle. That's
Werfel.
right. That's right.
Actually, Werfel.
I-
Werfel.
he is. Oh my God, too cute, y'all. Y'all got it too cute. Y'all gotta. If for those just listening, y'all gotta check out the YouTube and see this baby. So check it out, Lil Chris and Erin. Do y'all have any tips, hints? If anybody want to get started with fostering, what's some of the tips or hints that you would give off or let people know if they want to get started in fostering like
Do
y'all are?
not start with bottle babies. Start with like a mama and babies, like a mellow mama and babies.
Hey,
And
I
then
can
go into
attest
like
for
the
that.
already weaned ones where they already eat. So all you have to do is just feed them, and play with them. But do not dive right into the bottle babies. That's one of my only tips.
Oh man,
Do
I
not
would
foster fail.
I wish I would have heard from you before I did it, because I'm like I said, it was KMR and anal glands all over the place, and I had no idea what I was doing at first.
Oh
It
my
was a mess.
gosh. You know what's funny? I feel like anyone who's fostered kittens knows about the poop on the walls. You know, my
Oh God, we have Tesco fail.
Look, Erin,
I
Erin is
know.
in the background
No,
back there, like, oh my
I,
God.
I
This
didn't
is your
know.
lifesaver right here. These are
What is
Tesco panels,
what
and
is
we have
that?
them put up behind our litter boxes just for that reason.
Oh.
So we have we have a whole right behind the litter boxes. No, it's fine.
Okay.
We don't need to see them.
Okay.
It goes up right behind it, and it's
That's
just
smart. Is it like
super easy to
plexiglass?
sanitize.
That's
Okay.
good. What they just pulled out, for those of you that's listening in can't see, they have like these look like plastic shields to put behind the litter box. And
Yeah.
man, again, that's something I wish I would have knew and talked to y'all before I did it my first time, because
Ooh.
the poop will
That's
fly.
well,
The poop
it's
will
funny
fly.
too. Well, it's not funny actually, but my friend Anna, she told me, because it was my first time fostering kittens, and so she's like, you're gonna need to get a poop knife. I'm like, what is a poop knife? So I learned that after, the poop gets caked on the wall, it dries pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah,
And
like
so
an hour.
yeah, so that's
Well,
really smart. So
yeah,
to have
the
like a
shield.
screen.
Let me
Right.
share a quick little tidbit about Chris. He does not do poop. He doesn't do
Oh.
litter boxes, and he doesn't do poop.
You gotta see Chris sliding out of the
Chris is
screen.
just sliding. It's like, get
Like-
back here, little Chris.
Like I'm telling you, legit, he will text
Number one poop
me.
scooper.
Yeah, he
They
will
poop.
text me from his phone and say,
They poop.
whatever cat, kitten that we have just pooped. Like, and it stinks. Can you come clean the box? Or,
Ooh,
you know,
your mom
and-
is telling on you. Your mom
When
is
we
telling
do-
on you.
Well, Adam actually has a pin that says #1 poop scooper. And
That's you.
I have that pin now because I am
That's
apparently
you.
the #1
We
poop
just
scooper.
lanyard with like every single cat pin we've ever done.
Oh, we have a ton of cat pins.
I think that lanyard
Yeah.
weighs like 5 pounds.
Yeah.
I didn't
So
even
that's
know.
that's a secret about him. If you're gonna
Ah.
foster, you gotta learn to do the poop. He
Yeah.
does not scoop litter boxes, and he doesn't potty our tiny, our little bottle babies. I have to do all the potty,
I do
and he
occasionally.
gets all the fun stuff. He gets all the
Oh, yeah.
playing and the
Oh, yeah.
socializing and the
That's
cuddles
okay.
and
That's all right. I take pictures of
hard.
animals. That's fun. Like
I want to do that.
I mean,
yeah. So that's another thing
Oh.
is he does his we got a camera.
I have to show you this picture. It's the cutest picture of our last litter, ketchup, mustard, relish. I have
Yeah.
So you like the
Right.
you like the photography side of it? Okay,
It's-
you go be out there
Yeah.
like Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
And he did
takes some
give, we saw
crazy
him at
dope
Cat
pictures.
Camp. Last time we were at Cat Camp in Las Vegas, and they talked he gave him all kinds of pointers. He was walking around with the camera and everybody who took any kind of pictures ever was between Erica, Danger, and
Yeah.
Andrew and is it TNR Utopia
Oh
is
yeah,
one of them. And
TNR Utopia, yeah.
okay, so he was giving him all kinds of pointers and stuff like that. So
Now I'm a pro.
yeah,
Erica, and I'm telling you, Erica and Andrew both. It's crazy some of the how amazing the pictures are that they have taken. Because Erica actually did a shoot with Demita a long time ago, but it's crazy because it's like they pull the camera out and they start making moves and noises. They know how to get it going. Like like you see them and they just be like, round, just all types of noises. They get them to look and do certain stuff. That's a skill.
This is my work. We do little bow
Oh,
ties.
that's good.
Look at the bow
That's
tie.
cute. Yeah.
those are all Chris's photos.
I
Oh,
took
those
and-
are dope.
And Erica's been here. She's the only one who's photographed Mouse. And okay, let's get this. I don't want you to go too far. But that's what those were the photos that he did of our last litter.
They were so
Cool.
good.
So
Man, y'all
Well,
some
it-
dope pictures, man.
Because
Well,
it was in
that's
the
the
light
thing,
box professional camera.
Makes a difference. Like good pictures make a difference when you're trying to, get your animals homes.
Yeah, a lot of times it's usually, when I first got started, they would, people would tell me that all the time, that the picture and the backstory is what's gonna get that baby adopted. Like, so people would always have try to get a good picture and a great backstory about the
Well,
kitty.
that's
or
how
the
I
kitty.
started volunteering. It's like, because I'm a professional photographer and I went in and was like, hey, let me take pictures. Because back then too, it was before cell phones, how they are now, and now it's so much easier, but it just having good photographs makes such a huge difference.
I had to learn that. People would always be like, well, Sterling, you got to take some good pictures. Nathan would get on me and be like, man, you need to update your phone because everything is blurry. It's not working. And they'll be like, what's the backstory? And I'll be like, the backstory is I trapped it. And they'd be like,
oh
yeah, but
God, you got to make something up there. Like, you got to,
I don't know.
you got to make something up. Like, well, Chris, you've already got, like, you're a good writer. So you can write some stories.
I can't say enough. Y'all got to come on here. For the people that's listening, you got to come and check out the YouTube because the pictures, some of the pictures that Lil Chris just shared with us is like super dope. I was, smush.
That's Erica. She's the first ever person. That's Mouse. And that's him now.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
She is the first person.
He's cute.
First person to ever take pictures of Mouse.
And shout out y'all, if y'all don't know Erica Danger, shout out to Erica Danger. She does cat photography and she is awesome. Like I said, she did a photo shoot with Demita Joe a while back. I can't remember. Was it a cat? I can't remember what event it was, but she is extra dope with the photography too. Shout out to Erica Danger. Yeah, that is crazy. So what is, if some, like, I know you said, the poop thing and everything, but what would be some of the tools to have before you get started? Like, I know y'all showed us the poop sheet, basically.
Yeah.
We heard the poop knife.
Oh God, yeah.
What are some of the tools outside of poopy stuff that might be needed?
When we first started doing this, we didn't have any fences to keep them in one area, so they just had full room of this room. We took this really old box, and it was a cat tree box, right? It was huge. It was some cardboard box, and you just put it in the corner and just put people in it. So definitely a playpen or like a fence. Like we have this dog fence right here, metal dog fence. I can't lift it up, but
the playpen. Another thing I didn't have when I was doing my bottle baby foster, I was just a mess out there.
You were completely unprepared.
Right. I was just all heart. Just give them to me. I'll figure it out. Give them to me. I'll do it.
Have you found since the pandemic, because you went virtual for school, right?
Yeah, but only I didn't do I'm in 8th grade now. I did 7th and 8th in person, but I think I only did like 4 months of online school. But
okay. Did you like that because you got to spend more time with the kittens?
Oh yeah, I would do it in here. I would do it on those futons, and I would just chill with the kitties while doing schoolwork.
That's awesome. That's what I like about working from home, because I'm here with my cats all day. It's like,
that's a blessing.
I think I would have been better at school and not such of a class clown if I could do that. Chill with my kitties while doing school. I wanted to show out.
Chris, let me ask you this, since going back to your letter and we're all on the same team, like what advice would you give to anyone listening right now? Put you on the spot. Like, I mean, I obviously you gave a whole letter, but what would you say? Like if someone's tuning in and even just not even just to the adults, but to the kids too. I mean, what would you say?
Say it again. Sorry. My phone's been blowing up for some
like
reason.
what keeps you going? Like what keeps you doing what you're doing? Like what if somebody's out there interested in fostering or volunteering with rescue, what would you tell them? Have a good mom.
Yeah, have a good mom. Have a good mom. Have a transport.
Yeah.
Basically. But I don't really know, because I was just provided with everything. So I was kind of
we gotta shout out Mama Erin, because that's like the motivation. That's letting it be known right there that you gotta have help. We all need help. It definitely takes a village. We all gotta have some help. I used to think that I could just get out there with traps and trap every cat on my own. I'm just gonna save all of them. Like it's just gonna be me. And one of my mentors early on would tell me all the time, Sterling, you have to educate. It's no way you're gonna get out here and catch all these cats by yourself. You got to educate and get other people engaged and wanting to do it as well. So definitely shout out to Mama Erin back there.
She is the most humble person you know. Right now she's feeding the cats, but she's like, I don't do anything. I don't do anything.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing though. It's having that kind of support. Not everybody has that from a parent, not everybody. Like Chris, you could have a different mom that would be like, what, you want to foster? Like, but even just to deal with the other adults, Erin, I'm sure that you as an adult probably have your own feelings about that kind of stuff,
So the good thing is that he and I can talk to each other about stuff, and we know that it's not going, any beyond us. So we can.
Yes, it's so important. It's so important to have that.
So, but another thing is that like especially lately, we've been trying to keep things more positive. Like when we talk about things that have, like, oh, so-and-so said this, or he'll say, like, I read the text thread and they said this, and I'll say, yeah, but, and then, okay, so perfect example, we had to take our kittens to the vet, to an emergency vet. It was not a big deal, but it was just, but we sat there for 2.5 hours.
No, I think it was 3 hours. Hold on, I want to show you the pictures of this. This is funny. So hold on.
No. We don't, because it says the name. We don't want to shout out the name.
Okay, we don't want to. We don't want to
ruin it. But so it was fine. So what it came down to was, I understand that they are busy. I understand that they're busy, and we appreciate what they're doing. And we sat there patiently for 2.5 hours.
We watched Bolt, the entire movie of Bolt.
We watched Bolt on his phone so when it was over, I called and I said, hey, do you know how much longer it's going to be? Because, we're out here, the kittens are getting restless. And they said, oh, it's going to be at least another hour. So I said, okay, you know what? I mean, I wasn't mad. I appreciate what you do. We love that you're here, but they're just not that dire. So we're going to go. We'll take ourselves out so that someone else can get in quicker, because it wasn't, so instead of being upset and talking negatively about them, and, we had to acknowledge that they're out there doing their best to help people like us, or emergencies that come in. There's no reason to be rude or nasty or anything like that. And so that's what our big thing is recently, is we're trying to be more positive with each other. Like this, we may not like what this rescue does or how they do it, or we don't like what, this person, how this person handles their kittens or their whatever. They're out there doing it, and they don't have to do it our way.
Yeah.
So, not to mention we have a really supportive rescue. So it's a small little tiny rescue. Ren Rescues.
The first page in this book is a shout out to Alyssa of Ren Rescues for never saying no to a cat in need and making sure we have everything we need. we needed for mouse to survive and thrive.
So
That's so
is
good.
dope.
Yeah.
What was her name?
yeah, Ren Rescues.
Ren Rescues. Oh yeah. I know Ren Rescues. I think I follow Ren Rescues. Yeah. Shout out to
So
Ren
I was
Rescues.
vibing in that parking lot for half of it. I was listening to an audiobook and then we watched Bolt and talked. So
I
But
mean,
see, what you just said though is so important, Erin, because that's the thing. And like we can all be better because I'm sure we can all relate to that experience of, when you're waiting and then it's like, well, what's going on? And this is your time and everybody's time is valuable. But you guys just went home and I'm sure you were frustrated, but rather that could have gone a completely different way. Like you could have gotten real vocal and nasty if you wanted to, and because people do, but at the same time, you don't ever know. Like I've been waiting somewhere and then you find out that they had an emergency dog that got hit by a car or something. But why would but it's like just little things like that to remove like or to almost expect or not expect, but assume the best about people is that helps me a lot because because it just does. It's like, okay, I am really frustrated right now and I feel like they're not they're not respecting my time or whatever, but rather than expect that they're like I'm making it about myself. So it's like if I just kind of say, okay, I'm going to go home and then just wait like you did, that's good,
But I think it's also too, our kittens weren't in a dire situation. It was
right. Well,
like a quick checkup and
send something off to the lab.
But when we went to a different, with this litter, there was 3 of them to begin with.
Yeah.
And when we took our one into another ER, they took him right away. They were just like, we can see that he's in dire straits.
Because he was in dire straits.
Yeah.
He was crying. He could barely breathe. He had like severe pneumonia, too far gone for anything.
So that was our first loss ever in 3 years. So it was rough, but they took it. So we can appreciate what they're doing. These people were there. They took our dire kitten immediately. But another, for these ones, it was a necessity. And so for us to sit there for 3.5, 4 hours for what they needed and take up another person's spot that might need them, we were like, you know what? But instead of being like negative or, bashing them or, because everything is social media these days, not to be, especially without this in-person stuff. So it's like Sterling, when you had your problem with your van, they wouldn't fix it.
And what? I learned the hard way, even with that, even though I know how I felt and what it was, me going online backfired on me with that because
it did. I knew that was gonna happen.
Did
it happen?
Yeah, it didn't make because it didn't make them. It wasn't like calling out as much as it upset them, and so then they really didn't want to help me. So it kind of backfired, and just like what we talking in this situation, even though I was upset and I feel like I had a point, I shouldn't have taken that approach. It backfired.
But at least you were, I mean, even though you put it out there, it's not like, I mean, you were polite about it, so to speak. There was just, it's not like you were just like, I mean, I've seen people go out there and say, this person sucks and never talk to this person again. And, I've seen that on social media and it's like totally not the right way to handle it. But if you're calling out somebody like a business or something like that, it's different. But, like with other like rescues and things like that, shelters, and, we may not always like them or agree what they're doing, but we have to support the fact that they're out there doing it and that they're saving lives and things like that. So we can talk amongst each other or with people, and say, God, this is awful. And, this is, they're terrible or whatever, but putting it out there, especially like with like I said earlier, with a lot of the in-person stuff coming back, it's just, you have to realize who's around you, not to mention the fact that, what if I were to come to you, Sterling, and I'm going, God, do you know Shannon Jackson? She is, and you guys are super tight, and you guys are super tight. And then, then you're put in an awkward position because you're like, wait, she's one of my close friends and you want to talk to me about her. And then, you know, and so it goes all the way around. The same thing with, you know, like if I were to go to Shannon and say, well, God, that Trap King guy, gosh, he's just doing this and that and the other. And you're like super tight. So it's like, you have to realize who's around and who you're talking to. And not to mention the little people.
Right.
Well, the little big people.
Guess she's got two thumbs.
Yeah, the little big people.
Like
She's
what
got
Lil
two thumbs
Chris,
and
like
the
what Lil
best.
Chris said, like what Lil Chris said though in the letter. That's impressionable, you know.
Yeah.
That's the thing right there. Just to see that, and everybody's not going to be as strong as Lil Chris to be able to
Right.
still say hey, or have a mom like Erin to make sure that you stick
Right.
with it, you stay strong, and you stay positive. A lot of times people will probably just be like, wow, this sucks. Because people see me and they think that I'm we was talking about this earlier before we even got started. People think I'm some big guy, I'm tall and tough, and really I'm not that tall at all. I'm all of 5'10", and I'm pretty dang on sensitive, believe it or not. So I've been the one to hear stuff and I literally go cry about it. Like I'll be like, wow, I thought it was cool. I didn't know the outlook of me was like this or like that, or somebody would say something to me like that or about me. So I would be hurt. I would be hurt about it. And that's how it is. Everybody isn't strong enough. And some of that bad stuff could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
like
a lot.
stop fostering or stop that stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
not
you
to
don't
mention
want to
the
stop
fact
people
that,
from doing it.
you know, like with kids too, they, especially in the situations like this, they don't, I mean, you can't be condescending with them. That was the one thing that like he got lucky with through, you know, Chris Ramon, and through, you know, Sterling, through you, and Adam, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Everyone took him as a fellow rescuer, not like, oh, you're so cute.
Right.
How lovely that you want to pet this kitten, or, you know, something like that. It was always, you know, you can do this and you got this, and this is super great that you're getting involved. And you know,
there were
like
some
that.
people that weren't very happy.
Yeah, I mean, there's always somebody who's, but to put it out there and discourage a young person from, you know, from being,
someone shamed me for adopting Luke and Laz out not together.
Oh yeah, we had a person, but that's where our rescue came in. We had somebody make a comment on one of our posts that we split up a kitten, two kittens that we took in. And they were just like, how terrible of you.
They weren't bonded.
Yeah, they weren't a bonded pair.
Well,
but our rescue and all of our fosters, our small little tight-knit group, they totally jumped up and were just like, that's not okay.
So we're random people too.
Yeah. So
well, that's with the social media though. Like, I mean, people have said, people leave comments. Right. And that's just
sometimes
something
you gotta ignore the keyboard
you just gotta ignore it, like delete it. Like, and I've learned that and I love social media, but then I hate it because of stuff like that. And then, you know, having a large following too, it just sometimes attracts people. Oh, Alexa off. That means
we are on the same team.
We are on the same team. But the thing is, a lot of people on the internet that just kind of come on the internet, they're not even rescue people, or they're just people sitting in their house. They're not fostering any kittens. They're just there like trying to pick at people just because of their own issues. They need to go.
Yeah. And that was why I started doing, like, I kind of, you know, did the social media to kind of like shelter him from that.
I have access to it, but I don't post on it.
Yeah. So he will post every now and again, but he always says it's him posting if he posts. But like, I've always been able to like shelter those comments. And now it's like, he's old enough, okay, he's 13, but he's old enough to, you know, this is what people are saying, and how do you want to respond to this? And he'll either say block it, or, you know.
I think one time I just turned off the comments on that one post that I made.
That's really smart, because the thing is, at the end of the day, the animals that you're helping, they don't know what social media is. Social media is for us. Social media is for us. You know, and yes, and to spread awareness and stuff, but that, and I feel very strongly about that, just because I've seen so much, and I'm really good at social media, but it's just, yeah, like people, it's almost like you have to be like, if you have to turn off the comments, that's good, but because what you're doing it's wonderful. Like what you're doing for kittens, Chris, you could not be doing that. You could be you could be gaming all day, you know.
And
I saw your sweet
for
headphones,
kittens,
you know.
not just for kittens, but for younger people after you, that's coming up after you, and people your age. It's an inspiration. I remember one of the most inspiring things for me is when I met Jackson Galaxy, and he was like, man, you the future. And when I saw you, little Chris, that was the first thing I thought of. Man, that's the future right there. You know, like that's a big deal. That was so inspiring for him to say that about me. I was like, wow, that made me feel good. So when I saw you, Chris, that was what I was like, yo, little Chris is the
So,
future out here.
I have to tell you, this is really funny. We have been playing Catman Bingo since he was 10 years old. We have gone to every Catman Bingo. We've been to every online Catman Bingo.
I've only wanted to win the pound of catnip, that giant bag.
So the one time that we won, we've only won one time.
And you couldn't even say meow, meow, meow. It was more, you just type meow, meow, meow.
It was
kinda
virtual,
mad
and
about
he
that.
was bummed. He wanted to say meow, 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 like Adam does. But the funny thing is, what he won,
Was
he
a,
won a one-on-one with Jackson Galaxy.
I'm gonna find that picture.
Wow.
He got to Zoom with Jackson Galaxy for 15 minutes. They, and most people talk to Jackson about, okay, my cat has this problem. They talked nothing about that. They talked all about animal welfare and what he could do and what he could do better and all that kind of stuff.
I met him at Las Vegas Cat Camp. That was fun too.
Yeah, he met him at cat camp. He met him at Lil Bub's. Okay, I have a video someplace. We went to Lil Bub's 8th birthday, and he went up and asked it when they did a Q&A. It was Hannah and Jackson and Little Bub.
Oh,
And he wanted to ask a question of Jackson, how long have you been in the cat business? But when he went up and asked the question, he didn't say, Jackson, how long have you been in the cat business? So Lil Bub answered and said, because she was 8, she said, I've been in the cat business for 8 years. How about you? And he was like, well, I'm 10. And he was like, and Bub's like, oh, well, you got 2 years on me or something. So when he finally did get to talk to Jackson,
that was the first question.
That was his first question. How long have you been doing this?
So was that the birthday out? Was that Bub's birthday out in LA?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you were there.
Yeah, I went there. Yeah, I went. Yeah, I
was
was out there. Yeah, I remember that. I was like, I wonder, is that the birthday? I remember that. That was a big birthday for a cat. That was pretty amazing. I was
all you California people with the California, like I don't know, like I remember seeing that. I think
I was there because of Adam. Adam let me know about it because they was he was going to do a booth, a merch table out there. So we went out
back
there
in the day.
That was cool though. Yeah, that was back.
I just remember there was a cat food cake because it looked like looked like a cake or something. It was like a whole bunch of
wedding cake.
Yeah, but like with the cans of cat food or something. Like I feel like I saw a picture of that somewhere. I don't know. That's funny. Was it there? That's so funny.
I think so. Was it? Yeah, it was a wedding cake.
I love that you remember the meow 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 how we used to do during Catman Bingo.
I've never went in person. I'm kind of mad about that.
Yeah, we haven't seen Adam in a couple of years now because of the pandemic.
Before they moved to a different place.
Yeah. And
the pandemic has made it hard for everybody.
So we can't wait for the next, in-person Catman Bingo. We're super excited about that. So
I'm gonna win. We did another we've done like online like 10 times.
Yeah, we've done a lot of
I was this close. I had 2 more things to go and I lost.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Ew.
So
Chris, you should make your own like little Chris
bingo. Yeah.
Hey, that'd be
yeah,
dope.
but you never want to step on it. I mean, Adam literally, he is the bingo king. I mean, he's got his Garfield and his and his little thing. It's so much fun to play with him, and he makes all these puns that are.
People have asked me.
My buddy is B9.
Yeah.
People asked me. A lot of people have asked me before to do Catman Bingo, and I'm like, I have to have Adam with it because we've done it together a lot, but that's his thing. And I always tell people like, I gotta have Adam with me to do that. Like, there's no way in the world I can just do it by myself. Just like I had to talk to Mosho before I started making cat raps.
Yeah,
I was like, man, we good, right? He's like, we good. I'm like, okay, just making sure. Can't step on no toes. But check this out, little Chris, Mama Erin. Before we get out of here, how can people find y'all, support y'all? help the mission of fostering and rescuing babies, where's the best place to find y'all at?
Nearest rescue.
Yeah, well, we're on Cattastical Meows on Instagram. Because I do all the social media and I obviously am stuck at doing that
She's
stuff.
the agent.
I don't have a Facebook or anything like that. So we're only on Instagram, but we foster through
Ren Rescues.
So ideally,
yeah.
like all of our proceeds from our mouse book and
Went back into the rescue.
yeah, it goes right back to the rescue.
That's our Insta and
which is hard to see, but
we'll put the link on our
Yeah.
Do a
on
link
podcast
and then
socials.
yeah. And Ren Rescues is anything is, it's under our, wish list items or under our, there's ways to donate on the Ren Rescue site that help support the kittens that we foster.
That's
So,
awesome.
we got an incubator, I think. Wasn't that from the proceeds from the mouse book?
no,
Oh.
but we did finally, they bought us an incubator. A lot of rescues and shelters will provide you everything that you need. They'll provide you food, litter, a few toys.
When we first did it, they gave us everything.
Yeah.
Except for
Yeah.
the put,
Most
let y'all
rescues,
know.
most rescues do. That's a legitimate rescue. when
Yeah.
that happens.
So you
That lets
don't
you know how
need-
much help is needed.
Yeah, and you don't need a whole lot of, we're lucky that we have a spare room, that we have a kitten room.
Mhm.
But you don't need that.
it's so simple as to put in like an extra bathroom or just like a bathtub.
Mhm.
Or like the
Bathroom.
playpen thing y'all was
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so
They gave us so much toys. We have a box of spare toys, plus
Yeah.
the ones that are already out.
and luckily we have had great supporters that will purchase things and send us toys for the kittens and
We have a wish list.
stuff like that. So but our rescue, that's what we put out there all the time is we would love for you to donate. It's a 501c3, everything's tax deductible. If you can't donate, then
Don't.
then yeah, if you're unable to, especially now, then don't. But there's so many things that are easy to do, whether you transport. If you are able to transport, a lot of rescues will pay gas money right now and stuff like that. So
We have these wipes. We've had them for like a year now.
no,
'cause-
those are brand new.
Oh, but they got
But-
bought on our wish list, right?
Yeah, it came off our wish list, and everybody is just so generous because they feel like, okay, I can't foster, so
But I
I'm
can
going to
help people
donate
that
to
are.
somebody who does
Right.
foster,
Mhm.
and that
that's a
helps.
big
That's
deal.
a big thing. So
That's a
I mean,
big
like
deal.
with your Patreon, and originally there was Smush Official,
Oh,
the
yeah.
foundation
Yeah.
before Shannon, you changed it,
Oh,
and
the Perry's place, right?
yeah, Perry's Place. They're here in LA. We went to visit them with Smushy 2.
Smushy too.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool. That was very cool. Yeah, well, there's so much that people can do to get involved. And I mean, I think the thing that's just important is that anyone who's going to donate, make sure that you're donating to a 501c3, definitely. And yeah, but you can foster. And Chris, I mean, you're 13 going on, I don't even know, you're a timeless young man. And I really thank you for writing that and sharing and trusting us with that letter. Because I think that a lot of people will read that and, really think about the actions that, if you love animals, like maybe be nice to people too, like you are
Right,
to the
right.
animals.
Yeah.
Because you don't lose cool points for compassion.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So
That's
we're
right.
gonna need to wrap it up here because Sterling's got another engagement and
Oh yeah.
we've got music playing now, even though it's not there yet. Gonna edit it later. But there we go.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm talking about.
That's awesome. So thank you guys for stopping by today and giving us your wisdom and your tips. And if you want to buy the Mouse the Cat from Trash to Treasure, all the profits go to Ren Rescues. And you can buy that on Amazon, right?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. We have a link under our bio too.
This one's yours, Sterling. This is
Oh
yours.
yeah, I gotta get mine. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
With the paw
Maybe
print.
we need to make you come out here to get it instead of us sending it.
I
to
mean,
you.
Yeah.
I'm coming. I'm coming back. Y'all know I'm coming
better.
back out. I'm
I
definitely trying
refuse
to
to
come
go
back out
anywhere.
soon.
Well,
But we gonna
thank you
get out
so
of
much
here,
for
y'all.
having us.
Yeah, thank y'all
Thank
for
you.
coming on. Little Chris, thank you for coming out,
Oh, yeah.
spitting knowledge. I know I'm gonna be seeing you again soon, so I can't wait to see y'all again. For everybody at home and listening, peace. We love
Have a
y'all.
wonderful week.
Ciao. Meow meow.
Wait,
What?
wait, we didn't get to say it.
Oh,
You
we're
can
gonna
go,
end
you
it.
can
What are
We're
we
gonna
saying?
end it.
Gay,
Gay,
gay, gay, gay, gay.
Gay, black.
Yay.
Oh, black.
Yay. Thanks, guys.
See y'all later.
Peace out.
Bye.
I guess who's got